Final environmental influence is gender. Of course, our sex is determined by our genes, determined by the 23rd pair of chromosomes. An XX will give you a female, and an XY chromosome will give you a male. And the female hormone, estrogen, will provide us with female sexual characteristics and testosterone with male sexual characteristics. We know that comes from our nature. But our gender, in acting masculine or feminine, is actually something that comes from our upbringing or our nurture. It refers to characteristics that we associate with males and females, or traits that we consider to be masculine or feminine. If I were to ask you, which gender do you find is more sensitive or emotional, you would probably say females. That seems to be a feminine behavior. If I said who tends to be more aggressive or strong or dominant, you'd probably associate that with males being a masculine characteristic. Gender roles, on the other hand, are expected behaviors for males or females, how to act masculine, how to act feminine. Gender roles have changed a great deal over the years. Typically, stereotypical gender roles would be women would do the cooking, they would know where to find the thermometer, they would buy gifts for people's birthdays. Men would know where to find a tool to fix something, how to fix the car, drive the car, cut the grass. Those are typical stereotypical gender roles. At one time, it was believed that a woman's place was in the home, especially if they were married. They should be at home taking care of the household and the children. After women's lib in the 1970s, that idea changed a great deal. Even before women's lib, many women believed their duty was to be at home, raising the children and taking care of the household. Before the 1970s, in many school districts, once a woman got married, she would have to resign as a teacher. It was deemed unfitting for a married woman to be outside of the home and not raising her children. That would be a bad role model. So, and again, after women's lib, those laws changed. So how do we learn our gender roles? We do know that comes from our nurturing, our upbringing. One is not born to know how to act masculine or feminine. And there are two theories that we look at on how children learn their gender roles. The first theory is called the social learning theory. According to this theory, we learn how to act masculine or feminine through observing our caregivers or older adults. Young boys will imitate their fathers, young girls will observe and imitate their mothers, but also through reinforcement or punishment. Kind of like operant conditioning here. So, for example, if you have a young boy named Sammy, he watches his dad play baseball, he imitates that behavior, so he's rewarded because that's a masculine behavior. However, if Sammy watches his mom put on makeup and then he copies that behavior, then he is punished or scolded until that is not appropriate masculine behavior. Let's say you have a little boy or a little girl, and she's out riding a bike, 3 years old. She falls down, she scrapes her knee and starts crying. You immediately scoop her up and start to coddle her, and you kind of praise that emotional behavior. Whereas your son does the same thing, falls down, starts to cry, you say, brush it off, take it like a man. Trying to scold that behavior, associating it as a feminine behavior. So here, again, we learn how to act masculine or feminine by observing older adults or caregivers, and also through being rewarded for appropriate masculine or feminine behavior and punished for the opposite. The second theory on how we learn to act masculine or feminine is called the gender schema theory. According to this theory, we learn what's masculine and what's feminine by watching the media, cartoons or movies, even by watching commercials on television. At a very young age, children's networks show gender appropriate commercials. You see little boys playing with Tonka trucks and little girls playing with kitchen sets. So children see that and they think that is what they should do as well. Also, like Disney movies. Most Disney movies, with some exceptions, show the princess, the girl, being a damsel in distress, needing some dominant, aggressive prince to come in and save the day. So again, young children learn how to act masculine or feminine through the media by looking at videos or movies or cartoons or even commercials. Gender schema theory. Regardless of the theory, children understand what is masculine and what is feminine behavior at a very early age. Take a minute and watch the video showing an interview with kids when asked about gender roles. If the link does not work, you can Google gender roles interview with kids.